Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And they done went and did it, didn't they? Yes, ARP Yamato is now in the store, and Wargaming has now officially sold a Tier 10 straight up. You could argue that the Puerto Rico was the first Tier 10 that they sold straight up. Sure. But wasn't in the store, and the idea behind it was that you weren't supposed to buy it straight out. You were supposed to grind for it and then pay a bit for it. I mean, obviously they were incentivizing people to buy it a bit early with the toughness of the challenges, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But the ARP Yamato's in the armory for 34,950 doubloons, and that is the base bundle, because they are selling other bundles with it, and it gets a little worse than that too. The bundle up from it is a 55,950 doubloon bundle, and granted, you do get everything that's included in this collaboration, at least this phase of it, which is the ARP Yamato, the ARP Maya, and the Arpeggio permanent camouflage for the Musashi. So, you may be asking, well, Mountbatten, what's the difference between the ARP Yamato and the normal Yamato? To that, nothing. They are exactly the same ship. Except, instead of just selling a camouflage or a skin for the Yami for this collaboration like they are doing with the Musashi, they are straight up selling the ARP Yami as a separate ship at Tier 10, separate everything. It's a different ship, but it's just the Yami. It is literally just the Yami. Nothing is different between the Yami and the ARP Yami. And to make matters worse, not only are they selling it straight up for money, they're also selling the legendary module, or the unique upgrade, whatever they're calling them nowadays. It's called the ARP Main Battery Director System, and it does the exact same thing that the Yami legendary module does, which is decrease your dispersion in main battery shells and decrease the traverse speed of your turrets. So, yeah, this is ridiculous. The base bundle with just the ship and the commander, not with the module, is 34,000 dubs. That's $140. And then if you want the legendary module, it's 55,950 dubs. That's around $200 for a Tier 10 ship that you can grind. It's not only is it taking advantage of the fan base of this collaboration, was it Arpeggio with Blue Steel? I think that's the correct name for it. I don't watch the anime. Please don't crucify me. But it's outright selling a Tier 10. Now, I know what some people might say, well, it's just the Yami. It's been in the game for forever. It's not like it's this unique ship or anything, but it's the principle of it. And I guess we should have seen this coming, and a lot of people did call it when the Puerto Rico came out, and you could just buy the thing outright. But again, that wasn't the whole idea behind the event. You were supposed to grind for it, and the option was there if you couldn't finish the grind or wanted to speed the grind, to speed the grind up. But this is straight up selling a Tier 10 for doubloons. But, and the argument, of course, is, well, there's several arguments about why this is bad. One of the main arguments is that people that simply do not have the experience or the numbers of battle played to be in a Tier 10 game can now straight up buy their way into a Tier 10 game, and nobody can comment that that doesn't happen or that there's not a lot of new players willing to do that, because I took this thing out on stream, and those of you watching saw we ran into a ton of these things, and I checked the battles of the players that were there, and many of them had sub 500 battles. Now, several of them that I ran into did just fine. A couple of them, not so much. There was one that literally just sat there and let me farm him with Thunderer well within Thunderer's main battery range. There's a couple that got clocked broadside, And again, these aren't mistakes that higher tier, higher experienced players don't make, but it's just kind of obvious when they're doing it. And again, with many of them having under 500 battles in their ARP Yami. Now, this has been something that's been going up. The line was drawn at tier 8, and then pushed back to tier 9, and now we're just all the way to tier 10 now. And that's why I'm encouraging you guys to not buy this. Every single cent of profit they make off of this ship will only incentivize them to do this again. And it's highly likely that they are going to do this again. I mean, just judging by the numbers that I saw on stream last night, just playing for those 3 hours, I think with all the ones that we saw, they probably made like $2,000 or $3,000 just from the ones that we saw. And I know there's plenty enough out there. And again, if you want the Yami, don't pay $140 to get it. If you want to get it and want to get it fast, I mean, shoot. I have a whole video explaining how to grind up to tier 10 in 22 matches. If you're willing to spend $80, and if you're willing to spend $140, just spend $80 and you can get there in 22 matches just by using the correct farming techniques. And it works on battleships just as well as cruisers, except maybe a little less efficiently, but still, good God. This is terrible, because now the floodgates are going to be opened. And it may not just be reskins of already existing tier 10 tech line ships. Oh, by the way, too, this is a premium that they state in the description that they will nerf or will change. So this ship isn't safe from the premium law of premium ships shall not be nerfed unless it's a global nerf. They state in the description that this ship may be changed in the future, may be nerfed in the future, because if the Yami gets nerfed, apparently this thing is too. So, yeah, you're buying a premium that can be nerfed and probably will be nerfed in the future. Now, granted, I'm going to assume you also be buffed if the Yami gets buffed, but yeah, and I really, well, I was going to say can't believe that they've done this, but it's entirely believable that they did this. I mean, again, taking advantage of a community, allowing for people to just buy their way into tier 10 games now, and setting a dangerous precedent for the future. And, I mean, tier 10, it's supposed to be where people that have had a lot of experience are supposed to be playing. People, you assume that people that are at tier 10 know what they're doing, and granted, that statement's sketchy at best, but from the average player, just speaking on the average player at tier 10 is much more experienced than the average player at tier 6, because they have a lot more battles. They're higher up in their tech line, and the higher up you go in your tech line, the longer it takes to get to the next ship. So again, just going off of the way that the game is set up, those players are supposed to know what they're doing and make less mistakes, be more aware of their surroundings, be more supportive than lower tier players. But now you have people that can just buy into tier 10 with no experience. It's, yeah, if they do it to just this once, because of the collaboration, okay, it won't be that bad. But I promise you, they're going to do it again in the future, because the money they've made off of this already, again, just from what we saw on stream, and the profit margin on this must be huge for Wargaming, because all they had to do was reskin a Yami. Didn't have to make a new model, didn't have to change. I don't think they changed anything about the model too, except for the camo. I mean, I'm not buying the thing, because my review of it would just be, it's a Yami. It's literally the same thing. I'm checking import real quick. I'm just going to pull it up on the preview screen. I mean, I do like the camo. It looks nice and clean. I don't like the freaking helicopter Yami camo, because it changes the way the ship looks. It changes the geometry of the ship. But this thing is literally could have been a camo. You could have sold this camo for $50, and it would have been fine. Yeah, they literally didn't change anything about the ship. It's just a reskin. It's a camo with a couple of lights here and there. That's it. That is literally it. This could have been a camo, just like the Musashi camo. You could have charged $50 for it, and people would have bought it. And the complaint studio just would have been, oh, that's kind of an expensive camo, but, you know, maybe if it had a little bit more boost to it, maybe, you know, a bit more of income, you know, as an alternative to the helicopter Yami camo. You know, it wouldn't have been that bad. But a whole ship, $140 for a Yami that is just cosmetically different. They're going against their word again, taking advantage of a fan base of Arpeggio Blue Steel, and directly selling a tier 10. I do not like it. Do not buy it. Grind out the Yami. If you are going to spend that much money on the game too, save it for the Christmas containers. Because those Christmas containers, if you spend $140 on those Christmas containers, you will get your money's worth, be it in the coal, be it in the signal flags, be it in maybe a potential premium ship, because $140 on Christmas containers, if they're the same Christmas containers that we've gotten in the past, that will go a lot further than $140 on just a Yami. I promise you guys. If you're going to spend that much money on the game, wait until Christmas. But I recommend you guys do not get this ship. Do not incentivize them to do this again in the future. And let's hope that the outcry is enough from the community. I've seen people on Reddit, I've seen in the comment sections and on the forums. People generally aren't happy with this decision from Wargaming. But I don't really think it'll stop them in the future. But again, this is not okay, and this should not happen again in the future. Please don't do this again in Wargaming. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If what you think about the event, you think it's okay for them to do this, you think it's not okay for them to do this, just let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 20,000 subs. We just passed 18,700 not that long ago. I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Again, hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.